I believe that the reason why the boy child is lost, because there are so many young men who are lost today, is because they lacked a father figure in their lives. They lacked the blessings of a father. So, marrying the right person will actually take you to very higher levels. Yes, in all aspects of your life.
Will affect you completely,
it will affect,
either positively or negatively.
It will impact, the impact it will have in your life. Yes, it's so evident.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time you're watching this video. Karibuni sana to our YouTube channel. And when you see me in studio, it's inspirational time. We do content around marriage, relationships, and also inspirational stuff. So today, I have a guest who is a friend of mine. Niye huwa natengeneza kichwa. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Introduce yourself. Tuambie unaitwa nani? Watu wengi hawakujui hapa.
Okay. Naitwa Mike Mwangi. And I'm an entrepreneur dealing with sana side of beauty. Yes.
Kabisa.
And I'm a husband and a father of 3.
Kabisa. Very important to say that.
Yes. And a husband to 1 wife, a female wife.
Female wife.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are interested to know your journey because I know you as a business person. In this segment, normally we share our life journey in a way to inspire others, because kila mtu anakuwa na journey yake, and probably there are so many people who probably are watching this video and they don't know how to maneuver around life. As in life, mtu anasikia maybe imemchapa kabisa. They don't know what to do. So did you start from scratch?
Yeah. Business wise, I remember my first business was a cosmetic shop, which I think I started with around 20,000. As I was selling human hair, you know, the synthetic ones, and cosmetics, mafuta, nini, vitu kama hizo. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, started with around 20,000. That was back in 2012.
2012?
Yeah, that is where I started business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tuanzie pale kwa how did you grow up? Ama wewe ni mtoto wa Kibaki? Uko na damu ya Kibaki, wewe umepata maisha ikiwa sabamba?
Let me say my growing up was not, I cannot say that I struggled. Yeah, that one would be lying. If I say that I struggled in life. Okay, financially speaking, and I've just been raised alone, so everything was mine per se. So if there are leftovers here, food, all mine, and all other responsibilities also mine. Because if I'm enjoying the privileges, I'm also that means now even the responsibilities will fall on my shoulders. But it did not also not come with its own challenges, because where I was growing up, I realized at some point in life that the man who raised me up was not my biological dad. So this one actually, I realized that when I was in high school, but even when I was in primary school, I could feel some disconnect. Okay, for one, you look at somebody's physical structure and you don't see anything resembling you. At the same time, I could find that the man did not really appreciate whatever I was doing. Anything I did was, he took it negatively, that is. As unapata kila kitu kwake, kwangu haingiani, as in he has to complain, has to criticize you for no apparent reason. So that one I realized in mostly it played out when I was in high school, because I remember I joined when I joined high school, I had issues with the stomach since I was, I think, in class 5. So now when I went to boarding school, I had issues now with eating very each and every day. So I had to borrow permission and go to hospital. Then they sent me to a dispensary, and the problem still persisted. So they gave me permission now to go home so that I can receive specialized treatment. And when I went to hospital, the doctor said that I should not be eating githeri. But still, to him, alikuwa anaona tu it's like maybe ni githeri sitaki kula ama maybe sitaki shule and all that kind of stuff. So I remember, okay, he took me back to school and he actually left some conditions to the deputy principal that anytime that maybe I would require permission, they should not grant me permission to go anywhere. So it happened sometimes maybe about 2 or 3 months. After now schools were closed, I went back and I found that my blankets were stolen. Because after schools were closed, the Form 4s were left. So somebody just decided to run away with my blankets. So I went and borrowed permission. Nobody even listened to me because they had been given directives that I should not be given permission. Apparently, he just went and said that I am Mkora, so I should not be given permission. So I couldn't sleep in my bed because I don't have a blanket. So I'll be forced to sleep with somebody else or sleep in somebody else's bed. And that is not allowed in schools. So what do? I remember at some point I just decided now, because they have denied me permission, what can I do? It was around 6 in the morning. I just panga vitu zangu kwa bag. Nikatoka when people are going for studies at 6. Mimi nilitoka, nikatoka vizuri kwa gate. Luckily the watchman was not there, so I left. Nikaenda, I went to my shosho's place. Nilifika kwa shosho around 6:30 7 because it was not that far from school. Nikaenda, then I took breakfast there, nikamwelezea, then I proceeded home. And I knew that whatever I've done is very grave, but now I don't have a choice. So I went home. I just explained to my mom. By then my dad was not there. He was working, I think, in Isiolo. So I went and explained to my mom. Then my mom, because she knew the reaction of my dad, she like punished me, denied me food and shelter for like 2 or 3 days. My parents were very strict. They were that strict. So what I did was, with the money that I was left with, I could go maybe to the shopping center, naenda nakula mandazi. Then jioni I would come and sneak in kwa the Shamba Boy. That is where I used to sleep for like 3 days. Then I remember when now this man came, he told me, you know what? But I think by then my grandmother, my maternal grandmother had visited. Okay, ile kule nilikuwa nimeenda after now sneaking out of school was my paternal grandmother. Now my maternal grandmother happened to visit. So when this thing now got out of hand, my dad now said, just tuende na shosho kwake. We stayed there for some time until he thinks of what he wants to do. So we went with shosho, we talked. And mimi nikamwambia I don't have a problem with going to school, but I cannot go back there. You see, I would want to study, but I cannot go back there, because how can I go back to a place whereby now I am regarded as a mkora? Then how will I even survive for 4 years? Nobody will ever take me seriously. I can even die in school because nobody will ever grant me permission or something. You just treat it like a street thug or something like that. So mimi nikamwambia shosho, sasa you just go and tell him, mimi I'm ready to go to another school, but not that. But I know it was also the wrong thing, because he had just paid school fees. You know, now I think it was the second term or the third term, so he had already paid the school fees, and he has just gone back to school, and I cannot actually be able to continue with my studies. So I know that also costed him, but now I did not have a choice because I cannot go back there. So when I said that, I was akanitafutia in a day school that was about 4 kilometers away from home. So that is where now I went on with my studies until I cleared in Form 4. It was a bit of a challenge because I used to ride a bike to and fro, but when it rains, I had to walk the 4 kilometers to school and the 4 kilometers from school. So in so doing, I never took that issue negatively, but I took it positively, and I told God, help me to never sleep with a girl out of marriage, you know, now with these kind of high school relationships and all that, so that I will never sire a kid, especially a son, who be raised by a man who is not their biological dad. Then they go through the kind of stuff that I went through. So I made a vow, just maybe a self-proclaimed vow. Nikasema, okay, God help me that I will never do this. And I can tell you for a fact, I was able to sustain that until now I married. Yes.
Somebody probably is thinking, how did that your relationship with your father affect their relationship
with the mother
and the father? Now, because here, assuming your mother is more connected to you, you get it? But now here, the man who is your father is not connecting with you. How did it affect in any way their relationship?
Okay. Now what happened is, my mom was very wise, and she knew, if I may use that term, she knew how to play his cards, right? There is never a time that she would talk ill of the man in my presence. You see, there is no way she had even intimated, even hinted that this man is not your biological dad or something like that. Or maybe the reason why this man is doing all this is because he is not your biological dad, or the reason why maybe you are not receiving all the love, the fatherly love that you would wish to receive is because of this and that. No, she never did that. So what happened is that because I could not maybe approach the man directly, anything I required, you always used to go through mom.
Okay.
Yes, I remember even when I was a child, you know, when other kids are being bought toys and all that kind of stuff. Okay, mostly they were not at the hizi za huku unanunua kwa duka, unaona zile tu watu walikuwa wanatengeneza kitambo. I remember there was a time some friends of mine who are very good in that, kutengeneza zile za mabati, they gave me one. I had to return it nikilia because it was like no. You see, so there's a way my mom couldn't really show me that this man behaves like this because you are not connected by blood, you see. So, and I remember even in school, in primary school, just go and tell him, Dad, I want this. Then you like, go and tell your mother, you know. So I did not know why he is telling me to go and tell my mother. I only realized that now when I was in high school, when I was in Form 1, that something, the reason why all this happened was because this man felt that this is not my blood. So maybe there are some things, there are some privileges that you should not enjoy or something like that.
Okay. How did it affect you as a person in terms of how you view fatherhood, especially now because you are a parent?
So what happened is, I am one person. Okay, I am a mentor. And I believe the reason why I became a mentor is because my life and whatever I've gone through, I'm one person who believes in taking up the pieces and now building something, not looking at it in a negative way. You see? So, now when this happened, I promised myself that the time I will get my own kids, I will never treat them the way I was treated. You see, I will father them the way a child is supposed to be fathered. And I said, if God will give me sons, I will be a father to my sons. I will listen to them. I will talk to them. I will love them as their father. And I will show them, I'll be their first mentor. Before anyone else comes in, I'll be their first mentor. And that is what I have been doing. I have 2 sons already. And I'm just so proud of them. You'll find me spending time with them, maybe even more than I spend with the daughter. And the daughter is the firstborn. You see, because I believe that the reason why the boy child is lost, because there are so many young men who are lost today, is because they lacked a father figure in their lives. They lacked the blessings of a father. You see, maybe you find, yes, you have a dad who pays your school fees, who buys you uniform, who buys you clothes, but they are never there. Or to be honest, you're never there with them physically. So that one, something I just chose, and nikasema that one I'll never treat my kids maybe the way I was treated, but I'll always endeavor to love them. And today I can tell you, leave alone my biological kids, I have quite a number of sons that I mentor around.
So would you advise a young man to get married to a young lady who has a kid? And if yes, how do you get prepared as a man if you're getting a relationship where there is a kid involved?
What I would say is, first of all, I wouldn't encourage or discourage, but the most important thing that I would advise when it now comes to marriage is, first of all, you need to seek the wisdom and the counsel of God. Is this the right person that you want me to marry? You see, or this is the right person that I need to get married to? Because if she'll be the right person, a God-ordained person, even if she has a child, God will give you that love, that godly love, that you love that child as if he or she is yours. You see, because there are situations whereby, there are families whereby you never even notice who is not a child of this person. Kwa sababu wakiwa wote, maybe somebody has 4 kids na moja alikuja na one of the spouse, kuna familia you will never know because they are all treated the same.
Yes.
So it's all about, first of all, God, is this the right person to spend the rest of my life with? Because I believe that a foundation or a marriage or a relationship that is founded on God it will actually be able to weather any storm. And a child born out of somebody else won't be a big issue as far as it is God who has brought you together.
Yes.
Because I believe that that is where many of us fail. That you just find somebody, a random girl or a random boy, and you just look at them, maybe physically, you see they are beautiful, they are handsome and all that, but you don't seek the counsel of God. Yes, I would want this, but is it the same thing that God wants? Is my wish, does my wish align with the purpose of God in my life? That is now where we drew the line.
Yes.
We really need to come to a situation whereby you just surrender everything unto God. Because I remember, just as I've told you, I told God I will never want to sleep with somebody and they say a kid that I will never be there physically to raise that child. And another thing, God give me somebody that you have ordained for my life, so that even when I get married the right way, you will sustain our marriage, that none of my kids will be raised by somebody else.
Wow.
And now, this is my 12th year. In November, we'll be celebrating our 12th anniversary.
Wow. 12 years in marriage.
Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
We have young people who probably getting married for all the wrong reasons. And here you find yourself, you have a family. Probably you don't have like someone to look up to in terms of how do I become a father? How do I become like a good father? How do you polish yourself in terms of becoming a good father?
Wow, that's quite a tricky question. But all in all, I believe that everything that we require in life comes from seeking God. Like I remember in the Bible, the word of God says that in all thy understanding, or in all thy wisdom, seek understanding. Yani, as in, if you don't seek the wisdom of God, you will not actually be able to run a good family. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you lean on your own understanding, you will actually not be able to achieve much. You see, since God is the author of marriages, I believe that an author knows exactly what you require to achieve whatever you want to achieve. So if God ordains a marriage and now you become a father, everything that you require to raise that son or daughter will depend on how you seek the wisdom of God in the whole thing. Because just as you have said, we have seen men who are not fathers. Yes, they have sired kids, but they are not good fathers. You see. And also, I also believe that you also need to be intentional about it. You cannot just do something kindudo and you expect good results.
Yes.
I also believe that knowledge is sought. You seek knowledge. You seek knowledge one of the ways is now when you have the wisdom of God, that is one. You can also seek you can also seek knowledge from books. You can seek knowledge maybe from watching other people or listening to other people. So I believe that all those things, when they are coupled together, they will enable you now to be able to raise your child the best and the godly way. But the main and the most important thing is the wisdom of God. Why? Because I cannot actually be able to run my marriage the way you run yours. You see, right now I may come and advise somebody on marriage or parenting, but maybe there are some things, if he does it my way, you're going to get messy. But if he does it the God's way, how God has really revealed to him or her the way they are supposed to raise their kids, it becomes perfect. Yes.
Wow. I didn't know we were going to have like a deep conversation about fatherhood. Imekuja tu.
I am a father.
Yes, yes.
I just love fathering.
Yes, and that's why it's becoming natural to speak about it. So maybe as you wind up, speak to a young man who probably is feeling like he wants to give up because marriage is not working, or maybe genuine reasons. So speak to one young man or in the verge of giving up.
Okay, what
the issue of marriage.
What I would say is that marriage does work, and I have seen many people talking about marriage becoming a scam. So if you marry a scam, or you marry out of a scam, then what happens? The end result will just be a scam. So I believe that maybe there are some marriages that may not be working for very some reasons that are very valid, and we also advise that if you see that maybe your marriage is not working, before now it reaches to a point maybe where you things get messy, you can first of all, you can seek counsel from marriage counselors and all that. But if it reaches now to a point whereby this marriage is now irredeemable, there is nothing that can be done, you cannot actually maybe force yourself so much into it. Maybe imefika mahali whereby you saw these instances whereby maybe somebody amekuja kwa nyumba, ameua bibi, ameua watoto. No, we don't advise for that, because I believe that life is very sacred, and ni kama tu vile sijui nani aliimba akasema kiuraruka. So if you see things are not working, just move out before now you mess the life
before you lose your life.
Yeah, either you lose your life or you mess the life of somebody else. Which at the end of the day, even if you remain alive, you will live with a guilt conscience for the rest of your life, or you'll be jailed and your life becomes hopeless. Another thing is, now before you even get to marriage, spend a lot, I won't say just time, spend a lot of time in God's presence. God, nimefika mahali, I feel now this is the right time for me to settle down.
Yes.
And I need somebody who is ordained from heaven to be my partner. So you spend a lot of time seeking, and don't just be ambiguous about it. Just go straight to the point. I want ABCD. I believe God is anapedaga. Don't beat about the bush. Just go straight. I want this and this kind of a person. You see. So you do a lot of due diligence in whatever that you are doing. And one thing, and I think the last point is the reason why, maybe one of the reasons that why many marriages are breaking is because you're marrying out of the wrong reasons. You see, so today people will date for 1 year, and the only thing that they do is have sex. They don't even have time to talk. They don't even have time to know each other. So when they get into the house, things are already messy. So what happens? The marriage won't even
see the light of the day.
Yes. So it is important.
Yes, yes.
Mimi, because I believe that the reason why I've gone this far is because of God. I always say, involve God from the start. Let him be the foundation of your relationship. It becomes the foundation of your marriage. It becomes the foundation of your family, and becomes the foundation of your everything. Because when God is the foundation of everything in your life, trust you me, whatever storm comes, you'll be able to weather, because you have an anchor in God. Yes.
Wow. And I believe also, as maybe I add on to what you've said, you also feed your mind with positive vibes about marriage. You know, there are people who have been made to think that marriage don't work. So if you feed yourself that, most likely you end up having one that won't work. So it's good also to have like a positive vibe towards marriage. Now during work. He's in marriage for 12 years. Niligonga 3 years like last week. And I want to believe that marriage is a beautiful thing if you do it right.
And you are with the right person.
You are with the right person. You know, I think there's a mistake that people do. Kuna kitu umesema very important. We take a lot of time preparing for our careers. Wamefanya course miaka, lakini when it comes to marriage, you just get into it without blinking an eye or even thinking, because probably umekuwa you are in love with this person and nobody can tell you anything. You don't want to think, you don't want to cut your brain in that relationship, and then boom, you have a baby, and now for that reason you get married.
And this is and remember, this is a person you will spend the rest of your life with.
This person will affect your career.
You wake up, he or she is there. You sleep, he or she is there. So if you get the wrong person, that means, just as you said, your career is messed up. If you are in ministry, your ministry is messed up. Your businesses are messed up and all that. Because if my wife does not support what I do, for example, now I'm a minister. I'm a worship minister. If my wife does not support my ministry in worship, do you think I'll go far?
You won't.
If my wife does not support the business that I have today, it won't go far. Because we will be talking at cross purposes. I am looking for this, and she is looking for something else. I am looking for elevation. She is just like, okay,
do your thing.
Yeah,
I'll do my
like, look at the ministry of worship. I will go for practices. I'll go for practice keshes. I'll go for what? If this is not the right person, kuna siku atafika akuulize, yani wewe kila asubuhi, because on Sunday I leave at 7:30 ama 7:20. Yani wewe hakuna siku utawahi tugoja tuende kanisa pamoja, as in, kwani church ilikuwa nini? Trust you me, if she asks you that for 3 times, Sunday ene hutaenda. Utaenda tu hivi, utapata umeboeka. So marrying the right person will actually take you to very higher levels. Yes, in all aspects of your life.
Will affect you completely, either positively or negatively.
It will impact the impact it will have in your life. Yes, it's so evident. That is one thing that people, next time maybe when we meet, we talk about now marrying out of the obvious wrong reasons.
Yes.
That now is affecting many marriages today.
Yes, very true.
Yeah,
very true. Let's prepare that for the next episode.
And right. I'll be right here to talk about that.
Yes. I really want to appreciate you for taking time to come to speak to us. Tuko na offer ya driving na najua inaweza kuwa usaidizi sana kwako. Ama ni mimi najiambia, do you really want it? Isikuwe ni mimi.
Who can refuse such an offer?
Yes.
Who can refuse such offers don't just come like that.
Yes.
And we say that when you have an opportunity, just grab it, because you may not find it in a very long time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So guys, we have an offer going on, and I believe you have been waiting for so long to get the results, but it's so unfortunate that most of you sijui kama ni amtakagi offer ama ni nini, because I've been waiting for people to give their stories. Unfortunately, hatujafikisha namba ya watu wenye walikuwa wanahitajika, because we are covering stories, and then out of the number yenye tutakuwa tumecover, the most viewed video tutampatia course. So we are still remaining with a few people, and so rush is never too late. Kimbia hapa hivi uchape story, and then you go and push your video, and probably you'll be the best, I mean you'll be chosen for that offer. So kwa nini wewe upewe? Unaonekana kama umejipanga wewe, kulipa sio shida.
With this economy of Kenya,
Yes,
that money may be around 20,000 that will be spent in going for that course. Will go a long way, maybe in paying school fees for my for one of my kids.
yes,
Yes.
So if you love his story and also what we have discussed, share this video with your friends. Let's help a brother become a better father. I don't know, hii kitu I think tungepanga we speak about fatherhood specifically, because I believe tumeweka weight kabisa. And so for the next video, I think we'll be intentional to speak about fatherhood and being a husband, like a godly husband. So thank you very much for bringing it up.
You're most welcome.
Your direction, yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
so
I really appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm honored to be here.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Wow.
And actually, the most interesting thing before we wind up is that I had started a YouTube channel called My Journey. And I had given a number of stories about my journey.
Okay.
About my, maybe I'll start with maybe childhood, school or education, then we have marriage, then we have maybe business and all that.
So is it active?
It was, and it was good. But I think I was overwhelmed by some other stuff that I could not maybe able to continue, because
but the videos are still there.
The videos are still there.
So what wanaweza kimbia pale wa watch?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel, kimbia pale, and then get to listen to his story. This social media platform probably.
I'm on Facebook, Mike Mwangi. Mike is M-Y-K-E, M-Y-K-E. I'm also on Instagram. I think Mwangi Mike _
Yes.
Mwangi Mike _ I'm also on Twitter at Mwangi Mike. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll put all those handles up on the description box. Watu ukitaka kunyolewa tunanyolewa wapi?
Munanyolewa kinyozi King and nail spa. We also do nails.
Nails?
Yeah, we also do nails. We also do facials. So we are an all-round people. So you can find us in a building called Moge, pale opposite the main market. Yes, in Nyeri town.
Okay.
That is where we do our stuff.
Okay.
And when you come there, trust me, you'll get an unforgettable experience. Yes.
Kabisa, mimi nimeishi kwenda hapo. Naendaga hapo nina masaju hadi najisahau. So guys, thank you very much for keeping it Amana's family. Subscribe if you haven't. It's the best way to support our content. And until we see you in the next video, God bless you and bye-bye.
Bye.